Welcome back to TheSlamDuncan YouTube channel, and in this video, I want to talk about what is going on with Lauri Markkanen. This season has been quite a struggle for Markkanen, and there are a bunch of reasons why, but I really want to pinpoint Markkanen's shot selections, where he's being put into the offense, and kind of look at how many minutes he's getting per game, and basically what Boylen has done wrong with him this season. But before we get into that though, please leave a like on this video. Also subscribe to my channel. Also catch me on the radio, 89.1 FM, from 6 to 8 p.m. Central Time on a show called The Upper Deck. You get to hear me listen to me talk sports, whether it's any Chicago sports. So hear me talk Bulls, White Sox, Cubs, any football thing that's going on. So definitely check me out, 89.1 FM, 6 to 8 p.m. Central Time on Sundays. You can listen to it on iHeartRadio app. But in this video, I want to show you guys some things that I am quite shocked with. I'm not a big, humongous stats guy, but I do like to look at stats and see what's kind of happening with the player. I really hate analytics in general, so I don't want to go into analytics because that gets too messy. But I want to show you just some of the simple stats for Markkanen this season and show you his shot chart. It's quite a surprise. But first off, I brought up his box scores from basically the past 20 plus games. Markkanen really struggled against the Bucks on Monday night, and it really showed to me, like, that game just showed like the issue with Markkanen this season, and it's mostly Boylen. It's not the 2018-19 Boylen, it's the 2019-20 Boylen. And I don't know what Boylen did to his offense, but he has completely shifted his offense to a dribble weave handoff, simple offense that any defense can counter. Last season with Boylen, Zach LaVine and Lauri Markkanen in the month of February and into March were on fire. Zach LaVine was averaging like 30, Markkanen was averaging like 28. They were both shooting like 50+% from field goal range. They were leading this team to a 500 record. It looked like a great bright future for the Bulls, especially with those two guys. This season has been quite the opposite, unfortunately. I think Zach has played very well, but I think he could have taken another level if Boylen didn't change his offense. But specifically for Markkanen, I want you to look at first off the minutes per game. There is not one game at the beginning of the new year that Markkanen has played 33 minutes or more. That's an issue. And I know he's been dealing with the ankle injury, but that cannot happen. Lauri Markkanen is one of the main points of the Bulls offense. And because he's one of the main points of the Bulls offense, he needs to get star minutes per game. And that should be at least 35 minutes per game. I would actually kind of like 38 minutes per game. But I get that it's a regular season, so maybe not push him too much, but he should at least be getting 35 minutes a game. Boylen has not played him enough this season, and he has not played him enough where he can feature Markkanen in the offense, and that's the other issue with that. But if you just look at the minutes that Markkanen has played, it is not a lot of minutes, and he needs to be playing more minutes per game. That is the first change that needs to happen, and that's the first issue that Boylen is doing right now to Markkanen. The second thing is look at the amount of shots he's taking per game. So far from December 2nd to January 20th, Markkanen has never taken 20 plus shots in a game. The most he's taken is 19 shots, and even in that game against Washington, he had a good game, and he didn't take 20 or more shots. That is also the other issue. Markkanen is not getting featured enough in the offense, and I think we all know that as Bulls fans, that Markkanen is just not getting enough shots this season. But the fact that we have not seen him take at least 20 shots in a game like since December, like, that is a serious issue. And there's no reason, like, no wonder why the Bulls are losing games, because they're not featuring one of their main offensive guys in the offense enough. And Boylen has decided to keep Markkanen stuck in the corner for most of the offensive sets, but yet use Luke Kornet in basically every pick and roll screen. It doesn't make any sense, and that shows in just the box scores that Markkanen is just constantly standing in the corner, and that's a serious issue. The next thing is that look at the amount of threes that Markkanen takes per game and compare it to the amount of just field goal attempts Markkanen's taking. I mean, in the Bucks game, he took 11 shots, and 7 of those shots were threes. He never made a three that game. In the previous game against the Cavs, which the Bulls won, he took 14 shots, but 8 of those were threes. That's the other issue with Markkanen this season, is because he's constantly just floating on the perimeter. And Boylen has just basically just told him, just be a stretch 4 and don't do anything else. You're not allowed to do anything or go ISO. You need to just be a shooter, and that's a serious issue. Markkanen is more than just a shooter, and we saw that last season. And I don't really want to like mention this too much, but his free throws are down. He was never a big free throw shooter, but he is a good free throw shooter, and it doesn't really help that he's only getting like 2 free throws per game. He's basically just been averaging that, but I thought this season he would come in and at least average like 5 free throws per game, because I thought he was going to be featured more in the offense and he would get more calls, but clearly Boylen is not allowing him to do any of that. So this, just the box scores, shows a lot of issues already. Now I'm going to go on to something else. And first off, I want to show you the shot chart for Markkanen in the 2018-19 season. So part of this was under Fred Hoiberg, and part of this was under Jim Boylen. Now, Fred Hoiberg really didn't get to coach him a lot because Hoiberg was fired. But just look at the shot chart here. You see a lot of diversity, right? A lot of the threes are taken from each wing to the top of the key to the other, like so wing to the top of the key to the other wing. You see a lot of shots in the paint, but the main thing you see is a lot of mid-range shots. And if you look over here at the amount of shots that he's taken from each distance, like you see 178 shots at the rim, and that's good. I want to see Markkanen get to the rim a lot. He's a 7-footer and should be able to easily finish over guys. Then the next thing is you see from 3 to 10 feet, Markkanen took 143 shots. That's also very good because Markkanen in the paint is very effective. Here's the difference though, and I'm going to show you the other shot chart. But right here, he took 80 shots from 10 to 16 feet, and he took 62 shots from 16 to the 3-point line. And then he took 332 threes. Keep these 3 stats in mind. That he took a lot of shots here. Obviously, he's going to take a lot of threes because he's a very good 3-point shooter, and that's good. Now compare it to this season. Look at Markkanen's shot chart. Just look at this shot chart. It is mostly just threes, especially here, as his usual spots are, but there are more threes attempted in the corners, and everything else is in the paint. He has not taken any mid-range shots this season. And what that tells me is that he is not posting up. He is not allowed to set a screen and do what he wants. So if he's going to set a screen, he can either roll hard, he can fade back, or he can fade to the 3-point line. He's not allowed to ISO on the baseline, which he was very effective last season doing. And he's also just not allowed to basically carry the ball up the court and create in the high post. And that's something that Markkanen has been able to do basically his entire career, and he's just not allowed to do it. So just looking at the shot, where his shot selections are, I mean, 148 shots at the rim, that's good. He needs to get into the paint. 78 shots from 3 to 10 feet, that's also good, but he needs more than that. I think Markkanen is very effective from 3 to 10 feet, but he's not getting featured. But this is the big one right here. Markkanen has taken a total of 15 shots from 10 to 16 feet. And he's only taken 11 shots from 16 feet to the 3-point line. Now, the Bulls offense in general does not take mid-range shots. But I think specifically, this is hurting Markkanen more than any player on the Bulls, because Markkanen is a very good offensive player. He's a very all-around offensive player. We saw that Markkanen last season can take a shot from anywhere and hit it. What made Dirk Nowitzki so great? He posted up and took those mid-range post-up shots from the high post, low post, wherever, and just knocked it down over his defender. We saw that Markkanen could do something similar to that in the post, and the fact that he's not getting any post-up opportunities or any mid-range shot opportunities is limiting Markkanen's offensive game. Markkanen can do so many things offensively, but what Boylen has limited his offense to is just stand at the 3-point line or drive into the lane. That's the biggest issue with Markkanen. He is not allowed to just flourish in any game. He is basically restricted to the 3-point line, specifically the corner, and go into the paint. By doing that, though, it makes Markkanen such an easy player to guard. You as a defender, if you know that Markkanen's only going to be shooting threes and going into the paint, it basically just says, all right, Markkanen, I'm gonna run at you at the if you're at the 3-point line, but if you don't shoot it, you're gonna drive right into the paint, and we're gonna have a center waiting for you right at the rim, so you're not gonna be able to get an easy layup. That's all defenses have to do now, and so Markkanen has now struggled because the fact that the defense knows what he's gonna do. He's either gonna shoot the 3, so you're gonna run him off the 3-point line. And when you run him off the 3-point line, you have a center waiting for him right in the middle of the paint so he can't get an easy layup. That's what Boylen has done to Markkanen. Not just, not call his number enough, not post him up, but he has limited his offensive game. And that is what is really killing this Bulls offense, is the fact that Markkanen is not allowed to be Lauri Markkanen. He's not allowed to post up. I want to see Markkanen in the high post and a horn set and actually be the passer at times, which he's not been allowed to do. I want to see him come off a bunch of down screens and maybe even just take an 18-footer. But most importantly, make sure Markkanen is allowed to do what he wants to do. Don't restrict him from just being a shooter or a person that gets into the paint. This right here is the issue with not just Markkanen, but the Bulls offense. This cannot happen, that there is no mid-range shots at all. The mid-range game, I know, is dying in the NBA, but if you look at the Bulls players, Satoransky, Levine, White, Markkanen, Wendell, they're all capable mid-range shooters. And when you take away that part of their game, they become an easier player to guard. And Markkanen, I think, has really struggled with that adjustment, because now he's only allowed to do 2 things when he could do so many other things. Moving on to some of the other stuff, though, this is the win-loss split, and this is the games that this is the stats that Markkanen has in games that the Bulls have won. He's averaging 16.6 points per game. Now, just take a note though of the field goal attempts. He's averaging 11.4 in wins. But then take a look at the field goal attempts in losses. He has more, but the issue is the fact he's not knocking him down, and he's actually getting more minutes in losses. But what that tells me is that when Boylen doesn't feature Markkanen correctly or call his number in the right plays, that's what really kills the Bulls. I mean, Zach LaVine is also, his numbers take a dip, but Markkanen specifically, he may be averaging 14 points per game in losses, but his efficiency, it plummets. It goes way down. And without Markkanen being a vocal point of the offense, it allows the opposing defense to easily guard the Bulls. And the Bulls offense is already a very easy offense to guard. So while we are talking about Markkanen, like with his struggles, like, it's Boylen like not playing him enough minutes, or Boylen's not calling his number enough, we need to look at the shot selection of Markkanen. And now part of it is Markkanen's aggressiveness, but I'm also going to blame that on Boylen. But this right here is the issue. Compare it to last season. There is so much more diversity in Markkanen's game last season. This season, it's strictly just 3-point shots and in the paint. That needs to change for this Bulls team to take the next step. Not just for Markkanen specifically, but other players too, and this entire offense can't just be limited to this. This whole analytics idea of threes and layups, it doesn't work. It has never worked, and people don't understand that, and it's killing Markkanen's career right now. Just look at what Markkanen has done now this season, and look how much he's struggling. The fact that you're taking away Markkanen's offensive game really hurts not just him, but the Bulls. And for the Bulls to move on and get better, especially in their offense, which is ranked in the bottom third of the league currently, they need to diversify their shot selections and their offensive capabilities. This right here limits the offense. And unfortunately with Boylen, this is what he wants. And the Bulls analytics staff wants this too. And so does the training staff. And so does the front office. So I hope with Markkanen that this changes. This needs to change right here. This cannot continue this season. And I wish the Bulls know this. Like, I really wish that the Bulls would take a look at this. That the fact that he's only shooting threes and layups is what is really hurting him. And so we question why Markkanen is struggling. It's like, oh, he's not aggressive enough. Maybe blame the Bulls coaching staff before you start hurting or start blaming Markkanen. Like, just think about how much influence the coaching staff has over a player's performance. This right here is a prime example of it. So I just wanted to show you guys this because I know a lot of people are questioning, like, man, Markkanen has really struggled this season. He's becoming a bust. But before we jump to that conclusion, think about what the Bulls coaching staff has done to the Bulls players this season, especially Lauri Markkanen. Maybe blame them first for Markkanen's struggles before you start blaming Markkanen, okay? But that's all I got for you guys. I thought this is something very interesting to look at, but this right here needs to change. So thank you guys so much for watching. Please remember to like this video. Remember to subscribe to my channel. Also follow me on Twitter at Duncan_White14. Also listen to me on the radio if you have the chance. And make sure you leave your comments down below on what you really think is going on with Markkanen this season.